The kitchen at DeLuca's didn't run on noise. It ran on precision. Steel-kissed porcelain. Flames flared and fell. Steam rolled across copper pots like breath across glass. Every movement had rhythm. Every motion had consequence. And at the center of it all, unseen by diners, unnoticed by staff, stood Lorenzo DeLuca, watching from behind a sheet of one-way glass. He wasn't there for the food. He was there for patterns. The way his chefs moved when they were tired. The way servers adjusted when pressure rose. The way people revealed themselves when they thought no one important was looking. That was when he noticed her. Not because she was loud. Not because she was clumsy. Not because she wanted attention. But because she didn't. Amara moved through the chaos like a shadow that knew where every wall would be before it existed. Tray balanced perfectly. Eyes down. Steps measured. She didn't rush, she calculated. She didn't hesitate, she anticipated. The kind of calm that didn't come from training. It came from survival. Lorenzo watched her pass between stations as plates hissed and knives struck boards with surgical rhythm. She absorbed near collisions without flinching. Adjusted mid-step without breaking pace. Invisible, efficient, forgettable, the exact profile of someone who'd learned that attention was dangerous. She reached the pass. Collected a tray. Turned toward the private dining room. Toward him. She entered the room without looking up. "Your wine, sir." Voice low. Neutral. Professional. She set the bottle down, twisted the cork, lifted her arm. Then her sleeve slipped. Just an inch. 2. Enough. Lorenzo froze. Not figuratively. Not emotionally. Physically. The room didn't move anymore. The voices beyond the glass didn't exist anymore. The only thing left in the world was her wrist. A jagged burn scar ringed the pale skin like a broken bracelet. Not smooth. Not clean. Irregular edges. The kind of wound that didn't come from accidents. The kind that came from heat. From restraint. From intent. Something cold and violent slid through Lorenzo's chest. He'd spent decades studying damage, the kind men inflicted on each other in alleyways and boardrooms, in deals and betrayals and slow, surgical power plays. He knew what fists did. What blades did. What bullets did. He knew what ownership violence looked like. And that scar wasn't old pain. It was a warning that had healed. She followed his gaze. Saw it. Her body reacted before her mind did. Her wrist twisted inward. Her sleeve dropped instantly. Her shoulders curved like something bracing for impact. "I'm sorry," she said too quickly. "I'll get another bottle." She turned. "Don't." The word wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. It landed like gravity. She stopped anyway. Not because she wanted to. Because her nervous system recognized command before her brain caught up. Lorenzo stood slowly. Not abruptly. Not aggressively. Just enough to change the shape of the room. "Stay," he said. Her jaw tightened. "I really should." "You spilled nothing." He stepped closer, eyes never leaving her face, not her arm, not the scar, her. "You didn't break anything," he continued. "You didn't do anything wrong." Her breath came faster now. "I'm fine." "I didn't ask if you were fine." She didn't answer. Lorenzo tilted his head slightly. A gesture, not a threat. "Show me your wrist." Her eyes flashed. "My injuries aren't your business." "Then why are you hiding them?" "I'm not." "You are." Silence stretched between them. The kitchen beyond the glass roared. The room between them didn't. "That scar," he said calmly, "isn't from a kitchen." Her throat worked. Burns happen. Not like that. She folded her arms. I fell. You didn't fall. Her eyes lifted. Sharp. Wary. Furious. You don't know anything about me. I know that someone grabbed your wrist hard enough to hold you still while heat touched your skin, he said quietly. I know that you hide it like someone who's been punished for being noticed. And I know that people who fall don't look like they're bracing for the next hit. Her breathing stuttered. You're imagining things. I'm not. He didn't move closer. Didn't reach for her. Didn't lower his voice. He didn't need to. Someone did that to you, he said, and she didn't deny it. Her eyes dropped. Her fingers tightened at her sleeves. For half a second, she looked like she might say something. Anything. Then fear won. I need to get back to work. She turned sharply and walked out of the room. Not fast. Not slow. Controlled. But her shoulders were tight. Her steps were clipped. Her breath was wrong. Lorenzo didn't follow. He didn't call out. He didn't stop her. He watched her disappear into the steam and clatter of the kitchen, watched her vanish back into the noise where invisible people learned to survive. Something dark and deliberate settled in his chest. Not anger. Not curiosity. Certainty. He reached for his phone. Find out who hurt her, he said. There was a pause on the other end. Sir? Now. He ended the call and looked back through the glass. Amara was already gone. But the space she'd occupied didn't feel empty. It felt violated. Someone had crossed a line they didn't even know existed. Amara learned early that invisibility was safer than honesty. Not because she wanted to disappear, but because disappearing hurt less than being seen. She moved through the dining room the same way she moved through the world, eyes lowered, shoulders relaxed, breath controlled. Every step measured. Every movement deliberate. Not slow enough to draw attention. Not fast enough to look nervous. Just neutral. Neutral meant unnoticed. Unnoticed meant safe. She adjusted plates before customers noticed they were crooked. Refilled glasses before hands rose. Cleared tables before conversations ended. She'd mastered anticipation, not because she was good at service, but because she'd learned to read people before they changed. Tone before volume. Posture before anger. Silence before violence. She worked best when no one remembered her face. Which was why she hadn't noticed him at first. Not really. She'd noticed his presence, the way conversations shifted around his table, the way waitstaff avoided lingering, the way managers hovered with forced calm, but she hadn't attached a face to it. Just another powerful man. Another reason to keep her head down. Then she'd poured his wine. Then her sleeve had slipped. And suddenly, invisibility was gone. Now she felt it. The weight of his eyes. Not hungry. Not curious. Not amused. Still. Like something had paused inside him, and was waiting to decide what came next. She felt it before she saw him. She turned. He was standing in the doorway to the private dining room, posture relaxed, expression unreadable, eyes steady on her face. Not her arm. Not her wrist. Her face. It felt worse than staring. Her pulse jumped. She adjusted the tray in her hands. Is there something else I can get you, sir? No. The word wasn't cold. It wasn't warm. It was final. She swallowed. Then I'll stay. Her stomach tightened. Something about his voice bypassed thought and went straight to muscle memory, the kind that didn't belong to restaurants or service floors. The kind that belonged to other rooms. Other men. Other moments where leaving wasn't allowed. I have tables, she said, even as her feet stayed planted. I know. He gestured toward a chair. Not aggressively. Not casually. Just decisively. She hesitated. Every instinct in her body told her to leave. Every survival pattern she'd built screamed that staying never ended well. But power didn't always announce itself with volume. Sometimes it just waited. She set the tray down and sat. Her knee bounced beneath the table. She hated that. He noticed. Not the movement, the restraint around it. The way she tried to stop herself from doing it. You didn't spill anything, he said calmly. I wasn't worried about that. You should be. Her head lifted before she could stop herself. What? People who apologize when they haven't done anything wrong usually aren't worried about messes. Her jaw tightened. I'm just trying to do my job. I believe you. The word believe unsettled her more than doubt would have. She folded her hands together in her lap, wrists hidden beneath her sleeves, and stared at the table instead of his face. Silence stretched. Not awkward. Deliberate. She tried not to squirm inside it. Show me your wrist, he said. Her breath caught. No. I didn't ask if you wanted to. I said no. His eyes didn't harden. Didn't narrow. Didn't soften either. They just stayed. I saw the scar. Her shoulders rose a fraction. It was instinctive. Protective. He leaned back slightly, giving her space without retreating. Relax, he said. I'm not accusing you of anything. Then why are you interrogating me? I'm not. What would you call this? I'd call it noticing. Her fingers tightened. People notice things all the time. Doesn't mean they get explanations. No, he agreed. But sometimes it means they don't look away. Her eyes flicked up. What does that mean? It means someone hurt you. Her pulse jumped. She shook her head immediately. No. You're lying. I'm not. You are. Her voice sharpened. You don't know me. I know your scar isn't from a stove. Silence slammed into the space between them. Her mouth opened. Closed. She looked away. I burned myself. Not like that. Accidents happen. Not in circles. Her breath stuttered, barely, but he caught it. People who burn themselves by accident pull away, he continued calmly. People who get burned by someone else stay still. Her chest tightened. You're making things up. I'm making observations. You don't get to decide whether someone is in danger? Yes, she snapped. Actually, you don't. She pushed her chair back. I'm done with this. Sit. The word landed sharper this time. Not louder. Sharper. She froze. Anger flared through her fear. You don't get to tell me what to do. You're right, he said. I don't. Then he stood. Not fast. Not slow. Just enough to change the air between them. But I do get to decide what happens inside my building. Her heart hammered. And I don't allow people to be hurt here. Her laugh came out thin. This is a restaurant. No, he said quietly. This is my house. She stared at him. Whatever happened to you, he continued, didn't happen here. But you work here now. And if someone hurt you, and they're still breathing, that makes it my problem. Her stomach twisted. That's not how the world works. It is where I live. She stood. I didn't ask for your help. I didn't offer help. Then what are you doing? Making sure someone didn't bring violence into my walls. Her eyes burned. You think you're protecting me? I think someone hurt you. That's not the same thing. Maybe not. Maybe you just like control. His gaze sharpened. Careful. With what? She demanded. Powerful men deciding they know what's best for me? You think that's what this is? Yes. Then you're wrong. You don't know anything about me. I know you flinch when your wrist is exposed. She hated that he'd noticed. I know you avoid eye contact when people raise their voices. She swallowed. I know you position yourself near exits. Her pulse pounded. And I know people who aren't afraid don't live like that. She turned away. Stop. Tell me who hurt you. No. Why? Because nothing good comes from that. That depends on who you tell. Men like you don't help women like me, she said bitterly. You just decide what happens to us. He went very still. You don't know anything about me either. Then prove it. I am. By interrogating me? By not walking away. She laughed, sharp, humorless. You think staying makes you a hero? No, he said. I think leaving makes me complicit. She stared at him. Complicit in what? In pretending your scar doesn't mean what it means. And what does it mean? That someone claimed something that wasn't theirs. Her breath hitched. That's not your business. No, he said quietly. It's yours. Her eyes stung. She hated that more than anything. I didn't ask for your attention. And I didn't ask to see someone harmed in my building. I'm not harmed. You are. She shook her head. You don't get to define me by something that happened to me. I'm not defining you, he said. I'm defining whoever did it. Her shoulders sagged, just a little. Then she straightened. You don't want to know what happens when you don't walk away, he said calmly. Her eyes lifted. That sounds like a threat. It's a warning. To who? To whoever hurt you. Silence stretched. Her throat burned. She hated that part of herself, the one that wanted to believe him. The one that wanted to let go. The one that wanted to say a name and watch it disappear. But she'd tried that before. It hadn't worked. Stop, she whispered. Just stop. He watched her for a long moment. Then he nodded once. Go. Relief flooded her so fast it made her dizzy. She turned and walked out of the room without looking back. Didn't run. Didn't hesitate. Didn't breathe properly until she reached the kitchen. Her hands shook as she picked up her next tray. Her wrist burned beneath her sleeve. Not from heat. From memory. Behind the glass, Lorenzo De Luca stood motionless. Watched her disappear into steam and motion and controlled chaos. Watched the way her shoulders stayed tight long after she thought she was invisible again. He didn't follow her. Didn't call her name. Didn't push. He reached into his pocket instead. Pressed one number. Find out who hurt her, he said. Then he ended the call. The restaurant didn't close until midnight. But Lorenzo De Luca's night started long before the last table cleared. He stood alone in his office, glass walls overlooking the darkened dining room, city lights bleeding through the windows like distant fires, and watched his security monitors cycle through feeds he rarely needed to check himself. Kitchen. Back hallway. Loading dock. Front entrance. Then he stopped. Rewound. The footage replayed Amara's exit from the private dining room, shoulders tight, jaw clenched, pace controlled just a second too carefully to be natural. He zoomed in on her wrist. On the way her sleeve never slipped again. People who had nothing to hide didn't guard themselves like that. He tapped his desk once. Matteo. His lieutenant appeared in the doorway almost immediately. You asked me to find out who hurt the waitress, Matteo said. I started with her name. And? Doesn't exist. Lorenzo lifted his eyes. She's on payroll as Amara Cole, Mateo continued. No birth certificate under that name. No high school records. No credit history older than 3 years. Then try again. I did. Mateo stepped inside and set a tablet on the desk. Her real name is Amara Reed. Lorenzo studied the file as Mateo spoke. Foster care placements from age 8 to 16. 3 different states. 2 school districts. No permanent address. No family listed except one emergency contact, a woman named Rosa Martinez. She stayed at a domestic violence shelter 2 years ago, Mateo continued. 6 weeks. Left without forwarding info. Shelter records are mostly redacted. Mostly? Everything except intake date and injury category. What category? Mateo hesitated. Burn trauma. Lorenzo's jaw tightened. Police reports, he asked. 3, Mateo said. All sealed. Sealed by whom? Mateo slid to another screen. Internal affairs. Lorenzo leaned back slowly. Why would IA seal reports from a waitress? That's what I wanted to know. Mateo pulled up a blurred image. It gets stranger. Security footage from a street camera near a public transit station played. Amara stepped off a bus. Walked half a block. Then stopped. Turned. A man stood across the street. Not approaching. Not retreating. Just watching. He lifted his phone. She froze. Then walked faster. The footage cut. She didn't report this? Lorenzo asked. No. Did she know she was being followed? Judging by her body language? Mateo said. Yes. Lorenzo's gaze hardened. Find him. We're trying. Mateo tapped again. But there's more. Another screen appeared. This time, a still image from a courthouse hallway. Amara stood beside a man in a tailored suit, his hand resting possessively at the small of her back. He was smiling for cameras. She wasn't. Recognize him? Mateo asked. Lorenzo did. Everyone in the city did. Detective Marcus Hale. Decorated homicide detective. Media favorite. The department's golden boy. The man whose press conferences made nightly news and whose arrest stats fueled campaign speeches. The kind of cop politicians stood beside when they needed credibility. That's her ex? Lorenzo said. That's her abuser. Silence settled. Mateo continued. They were together almost 4 years. Met when she worked as a legal aide for the DA's office. He was assigned to one of her cases. Moved in together after 6 months. Neighbors reported shouting matches. No arrests. No charges. Because she didn't call? She did. Mateo brought up audio transcripts. 911 calls. Disconnected. Silenced. Marked no incident found. She tried filing for a restraining order, Mateo said. Denied. Twice. Why? No probable cause. She had burn scars. Not documented. Lorenzo's eyes darkened. Why? Because Hale filed the reports himself. The room went cold. And now? Lorenzo asked. Now he's been circling her again. How? Surveillance. Phone records. GPS pings. Mateo brought up timestamps. He parks 2 blocks from her apartment twice a week. Drives past her workplace 3 nights a week. Hangs up on her phone calls. Leaves her voicemail without speaking. What about tonight? Tonight he was across the street from the restaurant. Lorenzo's jaw tightened. He was watching her. Yes. And you're sure it's him? Confirmed. Lorenzo stared out the window at the city skyline. So let me understand, he said slowly. The man who burned a woman's wrist when she tried to leave him is a decorated detective, who currently has 3 open cases against my organization. Matteo nodded. He's leading a task force. Silence stretched. Then Lorenzo laughed softly. Not in amusement. In disbelief. That's almost impressive. Matteo didn't smile. Touching him would start a war. I'm aware. Federal attention. DOJ oversight. Media outrage. Every agency in the city would crawl inside our operations. I know. And if we move against him directly? We don't. Matteo paused. Then what? We find out how he thinks. Matteo nodded. Already working on it. He tapped the screen again. Phone records appeared. Voicemail timestamps. Text message logs. Social media activity. He calls her from blocked numbers, Matteo said. Always late at night. Never leaves messages. Just breathes. Lorenzo's stomach twisted. He's marking territory. Exactly. And the photos? Matteo pulled up images. Amara exiting a grocery store. Entering her apartment building. Standing at a bus stop. All taken from different angles. Different days. Different distances. But the same eye-level height. He leaves printed copies on her door, Matteo said. No note. No signature. He doesn't need one. No. He wants her to know he can see her whenever he wants. Yes. Lorenzo closed his eyes briefly. And she hasn't told anyone. No. Why? Matteo hesitated. Because every time she tried before, nothing happened. Lorenzo opened his eyes. She's learned that speaking gets her hurt. Exactly. And silence feels safer. Yes. Lorenzo stood and walked to the window. Below him, the city pulsed, traffic, sirens, lights, movement, all of it unaware that somewhere inside it, a predator was walking freely with a badge and a smile. The system protects him, Lorenzo said quietly. Matteo nodded. Completely. Internal Affairs sealed her reports. Yes. The courts denied restraining orders. Yes. The department lets him run investigations. Yes. And now he's stalking her. Yes. Silence. Does he know she works here? Lorenzo asked. Not officially. But he's been watching the building. Yes. Then he'll find out. Eventually. Sooner rather than later. Agreed. Lorenzo turned. Put eyes on her. We already have. Discreet. Always. Put eyes on him too. Matteo nodded. Already in motion. And tell Isabella to start digging into his finances. Looking for what? Anything that doesn't match his paycheck. Matteo's mouth curved slightly. That won't take long. He hesitated. Sir? Yes. Are we sure we want to do this? Do what? Go after a detective. I'm not going after a detective. What are you going after? A man who burned a woman's wrist and thought the badge would protect him. Matteo studied him. This won't stay quiet. Good. Why? Because predators don't like light. Matteo nodded once and left. Amara didn't sleep that night. Not because she wanted to stay awake, but because her body refused to shut down. She lay in bed staring at the ceiling, counting cracks in the plaster, listening to the hum of the refrigerator through the wall. Every sound made her flinch. Every passing car outside sent her pulse racing. She'd turned her phone off. Not because she expected a call. Because she didn't want to hear breathing. Her wrist throbbed beneath the sleeve of her hoodie, not from pain, but from memory. She could still feel the heat. Still smell burnt fabric. Still hear his voice in her ear, low and calm and terrifying. If you leave, I'll make sure no one believes you. She rolled onto her side and stared at the door. She'd checked the locks twice. Then 3 times. She hated herself for it. She hated that she couldn't tell whether the fear was rational or leftover. She hated that she still felt like she belonged to someone she'd escaped 2 years ago. Her phone vibrated. She froze. Slowly, she reached for it. Blocked number. Her throat tightened. She let it ring. Stopped. Then vibrated again. She didn't answer. Didn't reject it. Just stared at the screen until it went dark. Her breathing came shallow. Then she noticed something else. A light. Across the street. A parked car. Engine off. Headlights dark. But someone was inside. She couldn't see his face. Didn't need to. She rolled away from the window and pressed her back against the wall, heart hammering. Not here. Not now. Her phone vibrated again. Blocked number. She turned it face down. In the dark, her breathing sounded too loud. By morning, Lorenzo had half the city under surveillance. He stood in the command room beneath his office, a windowless space lined with monitors and maps, watching feeds update in real time. Amara's apartment building. Her bus route. Her workplace. Hale's precinct. Hale's apartment. Hale's gym. Hale's favorite cafe. Patterns emerged quickly. He always parked 3 blocks away. Always stayed less than 10 minutes. Never approached. Never spoke. Just watched. And then left. It's psychological warfare, Isabella said from her terminal. He's conditioning her to feel unsafe without touching her. He doesn't need to touch her, Lorenzo replied. He already did. She looked up. I found something. Talk. 2 internal affairs officers who sealed her reports transferred out of the department 3 months later. Both now work private security. For whom? Front companies connected to Hale's brother-in-law. Lorenzo's lips curved slightly. Keep going. Judge who denied her restraining orders. Campaign donor to the police union. Which Hale endorses. Yes. And her 911 calls? Rerouted. To where? To precinct desk phones. Which Hale supervised. Yes. Lorenzo exhaled slowly. He didn't just abuse her, he said. He built infrastructure around it. Isabella nodded. He insulated himself. From consequences. From accountability. And from her. Exactly. Matteo approached. She's at work, he said. She made it in safely. Did Hale follow her? No. Yet. Matteo hesitated. Sir, she doesn't know any of this. I know. Do we tell her? Not yet. Why? Because she doesn't trust systems. And you are one. Lorenzo's jaw tightened. Then we become something else. Amara felt it the moment she walked into the restaurant. Not the eyes. Not the whispers. Not the tension. The quiet. The kind that meant something had shifted. Security guards she'd never seen before stood near exits pretending to check phones. The manager hovered more than usual. 2 men in suits sat at the bar nursing drinks they weren't touching. She told herself she was imagining it. She always told herself that. She reached for the host stand. Then froze. There was a photograph taped to the inside of her locker. Not taped visibly. Carefully hidden. The angle was wrong. Not taken from eye level. Taken from above. Like from a stairwell. It showed her entering her apartment building. Time-stamped. From 3 nights ago. Her hands went numb. She pulled the photo down. Her phone vibrated. Blocked number. Her stomach dropped. She didn't answer. She didn't decline. She just stood there staring at the image until her vision blurred. Someone behind her cleared their throat. She jumped. "I'm sorry," she said instantly. "I didn't." "Amara." She turned. Lorenzo stood in the hallway. Not close. Not looming. But close enough. Her pulse spiked. "I need to get back to. Come with me." Her heart slammed. "No. I'm not asking." Her chest tightened. "I already told you." "I know," he said calmly. "And I wouldn't push unless it mattered." Her fingers clenched around the photo behind her back. "I'm busy. So is whoever left that in your locker." Her breath caught. Her eyes flicked. He'd seen it. "How?" "I have cameras," he said. "You have a stalker." Her throat burned. "No. You do." "I don't." "You do." She backed up. "You don't get to decide that." "I'm not deciding," he said. "I'm confirming." She shook her head violently. "I don't want this conversation." "I know." "Then stop." "I can't." "Why?" "Because he's escalating." Her heart hammered. "Who?" "The man who hurt you." Her vision tunneled. "You said you weren't investigating me." "I said I wasn't interrogating you." "That's the same thing." "No," he said. "Interrogation is about control. This is about protection. I didn't ask for that. And yet someone is watching you." She swallowed hard. "Prove it." He held out his phone. The screen showed the same photo she was hiding behind her back. Her breath left her lungs. Her hands trembled. "Where did you get that?" "My security team intercepted it before it reached your door." Her eyes stung. "Intercepted what?" "The rest." He swiped. More photos appeared. Different angles. Different days. Different distances. Her apartment. Her bus stop. Her grocery store. Her throat closed. "Stop. He's been following you for weeks." "No." "Yes. I would have noticed." "You did." Her eyes snapped up. "You just convinced yourself it wasn't real." She shook her head. "No. He's called you from blocked numbers." She froze. "He leaves voicemails without speaking." Her breath stuttered. "He watches you from parked cars." Her knees weakened. "Stop," she whispered. "Amara," he said quietly, "you are not imagining this." She slid into the chair behind her. Her hands shook uncontrollably. "He said if I told anyone," she whispered. Lorenzo crouched slightly so they were eye level, not dominating, not towering. "What?" "He said no one would believe me." Lorenzo's jaw hardened. "He lied." "No," she said. "He proved it." Silence stretched. "Who is he?" Lorenzo asked gently. She shook her head. "Say his name." "No." "Why?" "Because saying it makes him real again." "He already is." Her breath hitched. "You don't understand." "Then help me." Her eyes filled. "You don't want to know him." "I already do." She looked at him. "What?" "His name is Marcus Hale." Her face drained. "How do you?" "He's a detective." She stood abruptly. No. Yes. No. He's been stalking you. No. He burned your wrist. Her body went rigid. Get away from me. She turned to leave. He blocked her path, not physically, just presence. Amara. Don't. He's currently investigating my organization. Her eyes flew up. What? And that's the only reason I know who he is. Her voice shook. So this is about you. No, he said immediately. This is about you. Then why bring that up? Because it means the system will protect him. Her breath hitched. And it means if he touches you again, law enforcement won't stop him. Her knees weakened. She leaned against the wall. You don't know that. I do. How? Because internal affairs sealed your reports. Her eyes widened. Because the courts denied your restraining orders. Her hands trembled. Because your 911 calls were rerouted. Her mouth opened. Closed. Her face crumpled. I did everything right, she whispered. I left. I disappeared. I changed my name. I moved cities. I worked nights. I stayed invisible. Her voice broke. And he still found me. Lorenzo said nothing. He didn't interrupt. Didn't reassure. Didn't deny. He let the truth land. I can't do this again, she whispered. I can't. He won't touch you. You can't promise that. I can. She laughed weakly. You're not a cop. No. Then you can't stop him. I can. She stared at him. How? He didn't answer immediately. He didn't lie. I don't use the system that protects him, he said quietly. I use the one that exposes him. Her breath hitched. That's not better. It's effective. He's a detective. So? He's untouchable. Not to me. Silence. Her heart pounded. Why are you doing this? She whispered. You don't even know me. I know someone hurt you, he said. And I know no one stopped it. That's not your responsibility. No, he agreed. It's my choice. She shook her head. You don't understand what he's capable of. I understand predators. Her eyes burned. He ruined my life. And now he's trying to take it back. She swallowed. I just want to be left alone. I know. And he won't. She nodded weakly. No. Silence fell between them. Then Lorenzo said quietly. It gets worse. Her head snapped up. What? He's escalating. She stared at him. How? He left those photos for you tonight. Her breath stuttered. He parked outside your building this morning. Her chest tightened. And 20 minutes ago. He paused. He walked into the restaurant. Her blood ran cold. What? He's here. Her pulse spiked violently. Where? Not in the dining room. Then. He's in the parking garage. Her knees buckled. Lorenzo caught her elbow before she fell, not possessive, not lingering, just steadying. He's not coming near you, he said. You can't know that. I do. Why? Because he doesn't know yet. Know what? That I know. Her heart hammered. And when he does? Lorenzo's eyes darkened. Then everything changes.
Amara didn't remember sitting down. 1 second she was standing in the hallway outside the storage room, heart pounding, breath thin, the word hail still echoing in her ears, and the next she was on a metal chair, fingers locked together so tightly her knuckles burned. The world felt too loud and too quiet at the same time. Lorenzo stood across from her, posture controlled, expression unreadable, hands relaxed at his sides. He wasn't looming, wasn't rushing her, wasn't touching her. He was waiting. That somehow felt worse. "You don't get to say his name," she whispered. Her voice barely carried. Lorenzo didn't move. "Say it again," she said, louder now. "I said you don't get to say his name." "I already did. That doesn't make it okay." "Amara." "No," she stood abruptly. "You don't get to drag that back into my life." "I didn't drag anything," he said calmly. "He did." Her chest tightened. "You followed me," she snapped. "You dug into my life. You went through my records. My past. My—" "Yes." Her eyes widened. He didn't deny it. Didn't soften it. Didn't justify it. Just, "Yes. You spied on me," she said. "I protected you." "That's not the same thing." "No," he agreed. "It isn't." Her breath hitched. "Then what do you call this?" "I call it refusing to look away." She laughed weakly. "You don't know what you're refusing." "I know you're in danger." "No, you think I am." "I know you are." "You can't know that." "I do." She shook her head violently. "You're wrong. He left photos at your door." Her breath caught. "He parked outside your building." Her hands trembled. "He called you 5 times last night." Her knees weakened. She backed up until her shoulder blades hit the wall. "You don't get to track me like this," she whispered. "You don't get to take pieces of my life and decide what they mean." "I didn't decide," he said gently. "He did." Her eyes burned. "You don't understand what you're dealing with." "I understand predators." "No," she snapped. "You understand violence." "That's different." "I understand control," he said quietly. "And I understand men who think they own people." Her chest tightened. "You don't know him." "I know what he did to you." "You know nothing about what he did to me." "I know he burned your wrist." The words hit her like a blow. Her breath left her lungs. Her hands shook violently. "You don't get to say that," she whispered. "You don't get to say any of this." "Amara." "No," her voice cracked. "Stop." She turned away, pressing her palms against the wall, trying to ground herself. He didn't move closer. Didn't touch her. Didn't push. He waited. "You're afraid," he said quietly. She laughed shakily. "Of course I'm afraid." "Not of me." She didn't answer. "Not of what I know." Still nothing. "You're afraid of what happens when people start asking questions." Her throat burned. "You're afraid he'll notice." Her shoulders sagged. "You're afraid he'll punish you for speaking." Her breath broke. "Stop," she whispered. "He already is." She turned back toward him, eyes wild. "No. He's stalking you." "No. He's escalating." "No. He's testing boundaries." "No. He's waiting for you to feel safe." Her voice cracked. "He wouldn't." "He would." "You don't know that." "I do." "How?" "Because I've seen this before." Her breath stuttered. "With who?" she whispered. "With my sister." Silence slammed between them. Her eyes flicked up. "You had a sister?" "Yes." "What happened to her?" "She disappeared." Her stomach dropped. "When?" 10 years ago." "How?" "She worked for a man who thought power meant immunity." Her breath hitched. "He started with control. Isolation. Surveillance. Emotional pressure." Her hands trembled. Then violence. Her throat tightened. She tried to leave. Her eyes burned. He made sure she couldn't. Silence stretched. "She went to the police," he continued quietly. "They buried the report." Her pulse spiked. "She went to the courts." "They denied her protection." Her breathing came shallow. "She went to her employer's supervisors." "They transferred her." Her chest tightened. "She disappeared 6 weeks later." Her eyes filled. "They never found her body." Her voice barely carried. "I'm sorry." "So am I." Her heart hammered. "You think that's what's happening to me?" "No," he said immediately. "I think you survived." And he didn't let go." Her breath stuttered. "He doesn't let go." "No." Silence fell. Her knees weakened. She sank back into the chair. Her hands shook violently. "I can't do this again," she whispered. "I can't." "I know." "You don't." "I do." No, you don't, she said, tears finally spilling. You don't know what it's like to wake up every day wondering if today is the day someone finally believes him. He said nothing. You don't know what it's like to change your name and still feel owned. Nothing. You don't know what it's like to leave everything behind and still not escape. Her shoulders shook. You don't know what it's like to realize the system is on his side. I do, he said quietly. She looked up. I watched it happen to my sister. Silence. Her breath came shallow. You think I'm strong, she whispered. I'm not. I'm just tired. He didn't interrupt. I didn't tell anyone about the burn, she continued softly. Not my friends. Not my coworkers. Not the shelter. Not the police. No one. Her fingers trembled. Because when I tried to leave him, he did it on purpose. Lorenzo's jaw tightened. He held my wrist against the stove, she whispered. Didn't say anything. Didn't yell. Didn't threaten. Her breath stuttered. He just waited. Silence pressed. I screamed, she said softly. I begged. I told him I wouldn't leave. I told him I'd stay. Her voice broke. And he didn't stop. Her chest shook. When he finally let go, he looked at me and said. Her breath hitched. Now everyone will know you belong to me. Lorenzo's hands clenched at his sides. I went to the ER, she whispered. Told them I burned myself cooking. Her voice cracked. They asked if I was safe at home. She laughed weakly. I said yes. Tears slid down her face. I told myself if I could just get through a few more weeks, I'd leave. Her breathing came ragged. And when I did, her throat closed. He followed me. Silence stretched. I changed my number, she whispered. He found it. I changed my address, she continued. He found it. I changed my name. Her voice broke completely. He found me anyway. She pressed her palm to her mouth, shaking. No one ever stopped him, she whispered. The words barely made sound. Lorenzo didn't move. Didn't interrupt. Didn't soften the moment. He let the truth breathe. He won't stop, she whispered. Not unless he wants to. No, Lorenzo said quietly. Not unless someone makes him. She laughed weakly through tears. You can't make him. I can. She shook her head. He's a detective. So? He's protected. So was the man who hurt my sister. Her breath hitched. And I didn't stop him, Lorenzo said. I trusted the system. Silence fell. And the system buried her. Her eyes burned. And now, she whispered. Now I don't trust it. Her heart pounded. I don't walk away from this, he said quietly. Her eyes lifted. I don't let predators hide behind institutions. Silence. I don't let men brand women and keep breathing. Her pulse spiked. And I don't lose another person because the law decides not to look. Her chest tightened. You're talking about killing him, she whispered. No, he said. I'm talking about stopping him. That's the same thing. No, he said. One is violence. The other is justice. There's no justice for people like me, she whispered. There is, he said. It just doesn't come from where you were taught to look. Her breath hitched. You don't know what he'll do if he finds out you're helping me. I know exactly what he'll do. What? He'll escalate. Her heart slammed. And that's how we catch him. Her breath stuttered. You're using me. No, he said immediately. I'm protecting you. That's not protection. It is if it keeps you alive. She stared at him. You're asking me to be bait. No, he said. I'm asking you to trust me. Her laugh came out broken. I trusted him. Silence stretched. And look where that got me. I'm not him. No, she whispered. You're worse. His eyes sharpened. Because at least he pretended to care. Silence fell hard. Lorenzo didn't flinch. I'm not pretending, he said quietly. And I don't care. Her eyes widened. What? I don't care about winning your trust, he continued calmly. I care about you not dying. Her breath caught. Those are not the same thing. Silence stretched. She looked away. Her hands shook. I can't do this, she whispered. I can't go through another war. You're already in one. She closed her eyes. And you're losing. Her shoulders sagged. Not yet, he said. Not if you let me help. Her breath came shaky. How? By letting me protect you. That didn't work last time. Because last time, the man hurting you was the one pretending to protect you. Her eyes filled. And you? I'm not pretending. Silence. Then what are you? She whispered. Someone who doesn't walk away from this. Her breath hitched. Neither did he. Lorenzo held her gaze. He walked away when you stopped obeying. Her chest tightened. I won't. Silence fell. Her phone vibrated. They both froze. Blocked number. Her blood ran cold. She stared at the screen. Didn't answer. Didn't decline. Just stared. Then another vibration. Message. She opened it. One word. Missed you. Her breath stuttered. He knows, she whispered. Lorenzo stepped closer, not touching, just present. About what? About this, she whispered. About you. Her phone vibrated again. Another message. We need to talk. Her hands shook violently. Then the lights flickered. Just for a second. But long enough to notice. Then again. Then her phone went dark. No service, she whispered. Lorenzo turned sharply. Isabella, he said into his earpiece. Check feeds. Static crackled. Sir, Isabella's voice came back tight. We just lost 3 cameras outside her building. Silence slammed. And 2 near the garage, Matteo added. Feeds are glitching. Lorenzo's eyes darkened. He's testing the perimeter. Her breath stuttered. What does that mean? It means he's getting closer. Her chest tightened. Closer to what? To you. Her knees weakened. I can't breathe. Look at me, Lorenzo said quietly. She did. You're not alone, he said. Not anymore. Her breath shook. You don't know that. I do. How? Because he just went dark. Silence fell. Her pulse spiked violently. What does that mean? It means he's no longer playing with distance. Her throat closed. It means he's moving. The deeper Lorenzo's people dug, the uglier the system became. It started with financials. Not Hales. The judges. Prosecutors. Union reps. Clerks. Mid-level officials who should have been invisible. Instead, their accounts told stories. 6-figure deposits with no source. Mortgage payments on houses they shouldn't afford. Private school tuition charged to shell corporations. And every trail, every wire, every LLC, every offshore transfer led back to the same place. Marcus Hale. He's not a cop, Isabella said quietly, scrolling through a map of transactions projected onto the command room wall. He's a distributor. Of what? Matteo asked. Power. Lorenzo stood at the head of the table, arms crossed, eyes fixed on the data. The lights in the room were low, screens glowing blue and white like constellations of rot. What else? Lorenzo asked. Isabella pulled up another file. Missing persons. Runaways. Officially. And unofficially? Women who filed domestic abuse complaints, then disappeared. Silence fell. How many? Matteo asked. 37 over 8 years. Lorenzo's jaw tightened. And Hale? First responding officer in 12 cases. Supervising detective in 9. Internal reviewer in 6. What about the others? Transferred. Retired early. Promoted out. Silence pressed in. He's not just silencing victims, Isabella continued. He's feeding them into something. What something? Matteo asked. Trafficking, she said. Lorenzo's eyes darkened. Explain. Isabella brought up a new screen. Images of nightclubs. Private lounges. VIP escort services. Discreet, hospitality firms. Fronts, she said. He protects them from raids. Warns them about inspections. Clears warrants. Buries complaints. And in return, they deliver women. Silence stretched. To whom? High net worth clients. Politicians. Judges. CEOs. Anyone who can pay. And the ones who don't cooperate? Lorenzo asked. Disappear. The room went cold. Amara? Matteo said quietly. Isabella nodded. He was grooming her. Lorenzo's breath slowed. Explain. She worked as a legal aide. Smart. Observant. Connected to sensitive cases. He isolated her. Controlled her. Then tried to brand her. Silence. When she resisted, Isabella continued. He tried to destroy her credibility. Made her look unstable. Dangerous. Unreliable. Why? Mateo asked. Because women who fight back become liabilities. Lorenzo's jaw tightened. And when she escaped? He hunted her. Silence fell. He's not a cop, Mateo murmured. He's a kingpin. The words hung heavy in the room. Lorenzo stared at the data. Judges bribed. Prosecutors blackmailed. Union leaders compromised. Case assignments manipulated. Warrants delayed. Evidence misplaced. Victims silenced. Predators protected. This wasn't corruption. It was infrastructure. How deep? Lorenzo asked. Deep enough that arresting Hale wouldn't fix it, Isabella said. He built redundancy. Explain. If one judge falls, another signs. If one prosecutor defects, another buries the file. If one officer hesitates, another takes over. So the system protects him. Yes. Then we don't use the system. Mateo looked up. What do we use? The truth, Lorenzo said. And who do we give it to? Everyone. Isabella hesitated. That's nuclear. Yes. And dangerous. Yes. And irreversible. Yes. Then we do it, Lorenzo said. The first leak went out at 3:12 a.m. Not to law enforcement. Not to politicians. To journalists. Investigative reporters with long histories of burning bridges and refusing hush money. Encrypted files. Transaction records. Surveillance footage. Audio recordings. Witness statements. Case suppression logs. The second leak went out 5 minutes later. To federal oversight committees. The third went to international media. The fourth to advocacy groups. The fifth to internal affairs divisions outside Hale's jurisdiction. Then the phones started ringing. Not in Lorenzo's office. In newsrooms. In congressional offices. In DOJ buildings. In state capitals. By sunrise, Marcus Hale's name was everywhere. Not hero cop. Not decorated detective. Not media darling. Predator. Kingpin. Architect of a trafficking protection ring. The morning news anchors stumbled over the words. The headlines bled red. NYPD detective accused of running trafficking protection network. Internal Affairs probes allegations of judicial bribery. Dozens of disappearances linked to high-profile officer. By noon, the department placed Hale on administrative leave. By 2 p.m., federal agents raided his precinct office. By 4 p.m., 3 judges resigned. By 6 p.m., 2 prosecutors invoked the fifth. By nightfall, Hale's face was everywhere on televisions, phones, billboards, not smiling anymore. Not heroic. Not untouchable. Cornered. But predators didn't surrender. They retaliated. Amara didn't know any of this. She was in a safe house on the east side, 3rd floor, reinforced windows, signal blockers, 2 security guards in the hall, one on the fire escape, trying to convince herself that silence didn't mean danger. The room smelled like cleaning chemicals and new furniture. It felt temporary. Like everything else in her life. She sat on the edge of the bed, knees drawn to her chest, phone resting face down on the mattress. She hadn't turned it on. Not since the night before. Not since the blocked number. Not since Lorenzo's voice. She didn't trust the quiet. Quiet always came before something else. She stood and walked to the window. 3 floors down, traffic crawled past. People laughed. Someone argued on a phone. A dog barked. Life moved. She felt separate from it. Her wrist throbbed faintly beneath her sleeve, phantom pain, memory pain, the kind that came when fear didn't know where to go. She closed her eyes. You're safe. She said it out loud. You're safe. The words didn't stick. Her phone vibrated. Her breath caught. Blocked number. Her stomach dropped. She didn't answer. Another vibration. Text message. She stared at it. Didn't open it. Didn't delete it. Just stared. Then her phone vibrated again. And again. And again. She threw it onto the bed like it was burning. Her chest tightened. Her breath came shallow. Not again. Her phone vibrated again. Then stopped. Then vibrated again. She grabbed it. Her fingers shook as she opened the message. One word. Found you. Her blood ran cold. Another message. You think hiding fixes things? Her pulse spiked violently. Another. You owe me. Her breathing came ragged. Another. Come home. Her knees weakened. She backed into the wall. Her phone vibrated again. Video call. Incoming. Blocked number. Her chest tightened. She didn't answer. It stopped. Then a new message. Look outside. Her heart slammed. Slowly, she turned toward the window. Across the street. A car. Parked. Engine off. Headlights dark. But someone inside. She couldn't see his face. Didn't need to. Her knees buckled. She slid down the wall. Her phone vibrated again. Another message. You can't run forever. Her hands shook violently. She opened her phone and dialed. Lorenzo, she whispered when he answered. He found me. Where? I don't know, she cried. The safe house. Are you inside? Yes. Are you alone? No, there are guards. Her phone cut. No service. Her breath stuttered. She tried again. Nothing. Her chest tightened. She heard footsteps in the hallway. Her heart slammed. Hello, she whispered. No answer. The footsteps stopped outside her door. Her blood ran cold. Then, silence. Her phone vibrated. New message. They work for me now. Her breath broke. She rushed to the door and tried the handle. Locked. From the outside. Her pulse spiked violently. She ran to the window. The fire escape was gone. Not removed. Blocked. A construction barrier had been placed across the exit. Her phone vibrated again. Another message. You always did like cages. Her knees weakened. She slid to the floor, heart pounding. Please, she whispered. Please. Her phone vibrated again. Video. Incoming. She answered without thinking. His face filled the screen. Marcus Hale. Smiling. Calm. Unhurried. You really thought he could protect you, he said softly. Her breath stuttered. What do you want? She whispered. I want you to come back. I'm not yours. You never stopped being mine. I left. You ran. I survived. You betrayed me. Her chest tightened. You burned me. You disobeyed me. Silence. You think exposing me hurts me, he continued calmly. It hurts people I protect. Her breath shook. And when those people hurt, he continued, they lash out. Her phone buzzed again. A new text came through. From Lorenzo. Stay where you are. I'm coming. Relief flooded her chest. Then Hale smiled wider. You don't think he's the only one with leverage, do you? What do you mean? I mean, he just lost everything. Her stomach dropped. What? Hale tilted his phone. News footage. Breaking. Federal agents storming a warehouse. FBI jackets. Flashing lights. Police tape. A reporter spoke urgently. Sources confirm federal raids are underway on multiple properties linked to Lorenzo DeLuca's organization. Her heart slammed. What did you do? She whispered. I returned the favor, Hale said lightly. You framed him. I exposed him. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. Those aren't his crimes. Doesn't matter. Her breath hitched. The public doesn't care who's guilty, Hale continued. They care who bleeds. You're lying. Check your news. Her phone buzzed. Another alert. Breaking. Federal authorities raid properties linked to crime syndicate. Her stomach twisted. You're destroying him, she whispered. No, Hale said. I'm leveling the field. Her breath came ragged. You're going to kill him. I'm going to watch him drown. Her eyes burned. And then, Hale continued, I'm going to take you back. No. Yes. I'd rather die. He smiled. You almost did. Her phone buzzed again. Another message. From Lorenzo. They're raiding my properties. Stay inside. Her heart pounded. He knows, she whispered. He's too late. The lights flickered. Her breath caught. Then, darkness. The power cut. Her phone screen went black. No signal. No light. No sound. She was alone in the dark. Her breathing came shallow. She pressed her back against the wall, knees drawn to her chest, heart hammering. Footsteps echoed in the hallway. Slow. Deliberate. Approaching. Her throat closed. "Hello," she whispered. No answer. The doorknob turned. Locked. Then clicked. Unlocked. Her pulse spiked violently. She scrambled backward. The door creaked open. A shadow filled the doorway. Her breath stopped. "Amara," a voice said softly. Not Hale's. Her chest loosened slightly. Then the voice spoke again. "It's time to come home." Hale stepped into the room. Her blood ran cold. "How?" "I told you," he said calmly. "I own the doors." She backed away. "You can't touch me." "I already did." She grabbed a lamp and threw it. It shattered against the wall. He didn't flinch. "You're making this harder than it needs to be. Get away from me." "No. You don't own me." "Yes, I do." She ran for the bathroom. He grabbed her wrist. Right on the scar. Pain exploded up her arm. She screamed. He yanked her backward. "You think your friends can stop me?" he whispered in her ear. "You think exposure scares me?" She thrashed. "You think prison scares me?" She kicked. "You think death scares me?" She bit his hand. He snarled. "Nothing scares men like me." Her phone vibrated. Once. Then again. Then again. On the floor. Her screen lit up. Incoming call. Lorenzo. Hale saw it. Smiled. Perfect. He dragged her toward the door. "You're going to tell him goodbye?" Her breath came ragged. She struggled. "You're going to tell him you chose me?" "No. You always choose me." He pulled her into the hallway. Her phone vibrated again. Then, the security cameras cut. Every screen. Every feed. Mateo's voice crackled in Lorenzo's earpiece. "Sir, security cameras just went dark." The apartment door was open. Not kicked in. Not forced. Just open. The kind of open that meant someone had wanted it that way. Lorenzo froze in the hallway outside Amara's unit, pulse steady but sharp, senses pulling in everything at once, the hum of the fluorescent light above him, the stale scent of hallway cleaner, the faint sound of traffic 8 floors below. Inside, the apartment was silent. Too silent. He moved in slowly. Not tactical. Not reckless. Controlled. The living room looked untouched at first glance, couch cushions in place, coffee table cleared, throw blanket folded, but the details told a different story. A lamp knocked sideways near the doorframe. A picture frame face down on the rug. A chair pulled out at an angle that suggested urgency, not use. Then he saw the blood. Not pooled. Not splattered. Smeared. On the corner of the counter. On the edge of the sink. On the inside of the bathroom door. His jaw tightened. "Amara," he said softly. No answer. He moved deeper. Bedroom. Empty. Closet. Empty. Bathroom. Empty. The mirror was cracked. Not shattered. Just fractured, spiderweb lines radiating outward from one sharp point of impact. The floor beneath it was wet. Not water. Blood diluted by something else. Cleaner. Someone had tried to erase the evidence. And failed. Lorenzo's phone vibrated. Unknown number. He answered immediately. "Where is she?" A breath. Then a familiar voice. "She's always been mine." The words slid into his ear like oil, smooth, calm, smug. "Marcus Hale." "Touching her without consent makes you a criminal," Lorenzo said coldly. "Touching her at all makes you irrelevant." Lorenzo's jaw tightened. "Where is she?" Hale chuckled softly. "You're standing in her apartment right now, aren't you?" Silence. "I can hear the echo," Hale continued. "Tile floor. Hollow walls. Cheap fixtures. She never did like nice things." Lorenzo closed his eyes briefly. "What did you do to her?" "Nothing yet." "Where is she?" "I told you. She's mine." "You burned her." "She deserved it." Lorenzo's breath slowed. "That's your confession." "No," Hale said lightly. "That's my truth." "You're on a recorded line." "Good." Silence. "I like witnesses." Lorenzo's phone vibrated again. GPS ping. Location received. Abandoned courthouse. 5 miles south. "What are you doing?" Lorenzo asked. "Finishing what she started," Hale replied. "You know how women get when they try to leave. Emotional. Dramatic. They rewrite history." She didn't rewrite anything. She betrayed me. You branded her. She belonged to me. People don't belong to people. Tell that to your employees. Lorenzo smiled without humor. They work for me. She lived with me. You abused her. I loved her. Those aren't the same. To you. Silence stretched. She's scared, Hale said calmly. That's always been my favorite part. Lorenzo's eyes darkened. If you touch her again, he said, you die. Hale laughed softly. You think I'm afraid of you? No. Good. Because I'm not. Then why are you calling? Silence. To let you hear her. A muffled sound came through the line. Breathing. Uneven. Strained. Then. Lorenzo. Her voice. Weak. Shaking. But unmistakable. His chest tightened. Amara, he said. I'm coming. Don't, she whispered. He said. The line cut. Silence. Then Hale again. Tick-tock, he said lightly. Bring your army. Bring your lawyers. Bring your threats. Doesn't matter. You think you're untouchable. I know I am. You won't be. I already am. The call ended. Lorenzo turned. Matteo, he said into his earpiece. Trace the signal. Already did, Matteo replied. Abandoned courthouse on Ridge and Mason. Lock down all exits. On it. No police. Already rerouted. Media? Standing by. Internal affairs? Ready. Prosecutors. Live feed secure. Lorenzo exited the apartment. Not running. Not rushing. Moving with the certainty of a man who knew exactly where the war was going to end. The courthouse had been abandoned after a fire 10 years earlier. No electricity. No cameras. No witnesses. Just broken windows, boarded doors, and a front staircase that had once been designed to intimidate people into telling the truth. Now it only intimidated the empty. Lorenzo entered through a side door. No guards. No movement. No sound. Just echo. He moved deeper. Dust coated the floors. Paper littered the halls, old files, yellowed memos, forgotten names. He followed the sound of breathing. Not footsteps. Breathing. Strained. Panicked. From somewhere above. Second floor. Courtroom wing. He climbed the stairs 2 at a time. Not rushing. Listening. Then he heard it. Her voice. Muffled. Crying. No, she whispered. Please. Lorenzo's jaw tightened. He followed the sound to courtroom 3B. The door was ajar. Inside, the room was dim, lit only by a single portable floodlight plugged into a generator near the judge's bench. And in the center of the room, Amara, tied to a chair, wrists bound behind her back, ankles zip-tied to the leg of the chair. Her hair was disheveled, her face streaked with tears, her lips split, her sleeve torn, her burned wrist exposed. And standing in front of her, Marcus Hale, holding a phone, recording. Say it again, Hale said calmly. Say you lied. She shook her head weakly. I didn't, she whispered. I didn't. Say it. No. Say it. He slapped her. Not hard enough to knock her over. Hard enough to remind her who he thought he was. Her head snapped to the side. Lorenzo stepped into the doorway. Touch her again, he said calmly, and I'll remove your hands. Hale turned. Smiled. Ah, he said. There you are. Amara's eyes widened. Lorenzo. It's okay, he said quietly. I've got you. Hale laughed softly. You always pick the dramatic ones. Lorenzo stepped forward. Let her go. Why? Hale replied. She finally agreed to tell the truth. She didn't. She will. You burned her. She betrayed me. You stalked her. She abandoned me. You terrorized her. She belonged to me. No, Lorenzo said. She survived you. Hale smirked. You don't get it. Then explain. She needed discipline. She needed safety. She needed control. She needed freedom. Hale shook his head. You sound like a therapist. You sound like a predator. Silence stretched. You know what I love most about women like her? Hale continued calmly. They always come back. She didn't. She did tonight. No, Lorenzo said. You kidnapped her. Semantics. She tried to leave. So I helped her stay. You tied her to a chair. She was emotional. You assaulted her. She was confused. You burned her. She was disobedient. Lorenzo's eyes darkened. Everything you say makes you confess. Hale smiled. To what? To felonies. Hale laughed softly. No one's listening. Lorenzo lifted his phone. I wouldn't be so sure. Hale frowned slightly. What's that supposed to mean? It means this conversation is live-streamed. Silence. Excuse me. Internal affairs, Lorenzo continued calmly. 3 major news networks. 2 federal prosecutors. A judge. Hale's smile faltered. You're bluffing. Lorenzo turned his phone so Hale could see. A live feed. Viewers climbing. Thousands. Then tens of thousands. Then more. Hale's face drained. You're lying. No, Lorenzo said. You're trending. Amara blinked. What? He recorded everything, Lorenzo said softly. Every call. Every threat. Every confession. And he did it while believing no one could touch him. Hale's breathing quickened. You can't do this. I already did. This is illegal. You kidnapped a woman. This won't hold up. You assaulted her on camera. You're dead. You confessed. Hale's eyes darted around the room. There are no witnesses. Lorenzo gestured to the phone. Millions. Hale lunged. For Amara. Not Lorenzo. He grabbed her by the hair and yanked her upright. If you move, Hale snarled, I'll kill her. Lorenzo stopped. Slowly raised his hands. Let her go. Drop the phone. No. I'll snap her neck. You won't. Try me. You won't, Lorenzo repeated calmly. Because you don't kill people in front of cameras. Hale froze. You don't like witnesses, Lorenzo continued. You like control. Silence. And you're losing it. Hale's breath came fast. You think you've won? Yes. You think this ends me? Yes. You think a live stream changes who I am? No. Good. Because predators don't change, Lorenzo said. They get exposed. Hale's grip tightened on Amara's hair. Say goodbye, he whispered into her ear. Her eyes filled with tears. Then she moved. Fast. Violent. Precise. She jerked her head back, slamming it into Hale's nose. He cried out. She twisted her shoulders, wrenching free just enough to reach into her jacket pocket. Her fingers closed around something small. Metal. She'd taken it from his coat when he wasn't looking. A lighter. She flicked it open. He lunged. She swung. The flame hit his wrist. He screamed. Not in pain. In disbelief. She pressed it harder. Right against his skin. Stop, he shrieked. She leaned in. Her voice low. Steady. Controlled. You branded me, she whispered. Now I own this moment. He thrashed. She held firm. The smell of burning flesh filled the room. He howled. Lorenzo moved forward. Enough. She released. Hale stumbled back, clutching his wrist, eyes wild, breathing ragged. You stupid bitch, he screamed. He pulled his gun. The room froze. Amara's breath caught. Lorenzo didn't move. Drop it, Lorenzo said calmly. Or what? Or you die. Hale laughed hysterically. You think your live stream will stop this? No, Lorenzo said. I think you will. Hale raised the gun. A shot rang out. The collapse didn't come quietly. It came in waves. First, federal indictments, sealed at midnight, unsealed at dawn. Then raids, coordinated across 5 states, 3 jurisdictions, and more agencies than the public could count. Then arrests, not just officers, but judges, prosecutors, union executives, nonprofit directors, and political donors who'd spent years mistaking influence for immunity. Marcus Hale wasn't taken in screaming. He wasn't dragged. He walked out of his apartment building in cuffs, wearing the same calm expression he'd worn on news interviews for years, jaw set, shoulders squared, eyes steady. But the cameras didn't treat him like a hero this time. They treated him like a warning. The charges came fast. Federal racketeering. Human trafficking conspiracy. Obstruction of justice. Witness intimidation. Sexual assault. Evidence tampering. Corruption. Dozens of counts. Dozens of victims. Each charge built on wire transfers, audio recordings, sealed files, deleted messages, and most importantly, testimony. Judges resigned before the warrants hit their desks. Prosecutors turned state's evidence before the subpoenas arrived. Internal affairs departments collapsed entire divisions overnight. Every system Hale had hidden behind turned on him. The coverage never stopped. Headlines screamed. Talk shows dissected. Political careers ended. But the real collapse wasn't public. It was personal. Because once Hale fell, women started speaking, one after another. Survivors who'd been silenced. Witnesses who'd been erased. Victims who'd been told they were crazy, dramatic, unreliable, emotional. They came forward with scars, with records, with voices, with names. And suddenly, Hale wasn't an anomaly. He was a pattern. And patterns don't disappear quietly. Amara testified on the third day of hearings. She didn't wear sleeves. She didn't hide her wrist. She didn't soften her words. She stood alone at the witness stand, posture straight, shoulders squared, voice steady, and told the truth without apology. She talked about the burn. Not in detail. Not theatrically. Just factually. He held my wrist against the stove when I tried to leave, she said calmly. He didn't shout. He didn't threaten. He waited. The courtroom went silent. Not because she raised her voice. Because she didn't. She described the stalking. The blocked numbers. The photos. The notes. The threats. The way he made silence feel safer than speech. Then she lifted her arm. Uncovered the scar. The jagged burn ring around her wrist, unmistakable, raw, real, and let the room see it. Not as proof. As truth. There was no gasp. No murmurs. No whispers. Just stillness. Then she said the words that ended him. He told me no one would believe me. Her eyes met the jury. He was wrong. No tears. No shaking. No collapse. Just clarity. After her testimony, 12 other women stood. Then 20. Then more. Each story different. Each pattern the same. Control. Isolation. Fear. Silence. Abuse. Protection. Cover-up. The defense didn't last a week. The prosecution barely needed one. For the first time in years, Hale didn't control the room. And for the first time in her life, Amara wasn't invisible. Lorenzo didn't attend the sentencing. He didn't watch the verdict. He didn't appear in photographs. He didn't give interviews. He dismantled Hale's finances quietly, shell by shell, account by account, foundation by foundation, not to profit, but to ensure there would be nothing left for appeals, influence, or leverage. Every asset Hale had ever used to control someone became evidence. Every account he'd hidden became public. Every donation he'd made became traceable. Lorenzo didn't kill him. He didn't threaten him. He didn't touch him. He did something worse. He let the system destroy him. The same system Hale had corrupted. The same system that had failed Amara. This time, it worked. Hale was sentenced to life without parole. No early release. No protective custody deals. No sealed agreements. No quiet exits. Just concrete. Just bars. Just silence. For the first time since she'd met him, Hale had no power. 3 months later, Amara walked back into the restaurant. Not as a victim. Not as a survivor. Not as a symbol. As herself. She wore short sleeves. Not defiantly. Not performatively. Naturally. Her scar was visible. Untucked. Unhidden. Unapologetic. She didn't flinch when people looked. She didn't rush past. She didn't pull away. She moved with calm confidence, the kind that comes when your body finally believes what your mind has been telling it. That you're safe. That you're free. That the danger is over. Lorenzo saw her from across the dining room. She saw him too. They didn't wave. Didn't approach. Didn't speak. They didn't need to. Some stories don't end in romance. They end in peace. She took a table's order. Refilled a glass. Smiled at a customer. Adjusted a plate. Just worked. Normal. Unremarkable. Uncontrolled. Alive. And for the first time since the night her sleeve slipped, The scar on her wrist didn't mean ownership. It meant survival.